Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe here, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. This is an exciting morning. We have somebody back that's been on the show before. Um, this guy, uh, this guy really impressed me last time he was on and he has throughout his time that I've known him. Um, to my knowledge, he got started with little to no experience. He'll confirm that for us, and he began to get into the industry and add a little bit of creativity and do a little bit of critical thinking skills, which means that basically he owned the fact and the idea that he was the boss, that he was a CEO, that he owned the business. And although he went through and has been a part of our community and obviously has gone through education, anybody who's successful has to be a student. He took the bull by the horns and has built himself, at least the last time I talked to him, had built himself a pretty cool new career, and had got this business had carried him through some tough times as well. And so he's a pretty dynamic guy. Really excited to have him back on the show this morning. Paul, welcome, brother. How are you, man?
Hey, what's going on, Dave? What's going on, all you legendary people out there? I'm happy to be on here today. That's for sure.
Dude, what is going on, man? It's been like a year since we had you on last and we've talked. Catch us up, man. Just give me the nutshell of what 2022 anyways has been like, and sort of what you've done since the last time we talked.
Eye-opening, empowering, educational, just absolutely trying to level up every aspect of who I am and how I can serve, honestly. And I think this year has been me focusing on a deeper connection with audience, and it's been working out for me. And yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Cool. So give us your story. How did you come on? How did you get into this industry? How did you connect with Legendary?
Okay.
And let us know who Paul is a little bit for those who don't know.
So first and foremost, I'm a student of non-traditional education. So for a long time, I've been trying to figure out a way to buy back my freedom, if you will. And I always thought that was going to be through some online business or whatever it was. So yes, I have tried a lot of things online, nothing that took me to a point to where I was confident enough leaving my $80,000 a year job. And the education with you guys and the education that I continue to get from you guys has set me up to where I will never have to go back to another job because I have a skill set and I know how to monetize that skill set now. But I'm doing very well. It seems like every time I learn something new, I find out more of what I don't know. So I try to tell people all the time in this industry, if you're getting into it to learn something right now and only apply that, then you're probably going to fail because this is dynamic. Information is always changing and moving on the internet. So that's what I love about Legendary so much is the education is always updated and really pushing an envelope on what you actually teach people. So yeah.
And it is. I was just reading that this morning that there's niches or markets, if you will, that are more mechanical, meaning that they don't change a lot, or more consistent, I guess would be a better word. And then there's markets that are dynamic, meaning that they change, they evolve. The online business, online marketing space, make money online, whatever you want to call it. The niche that I've been in for over a decade has certainly been dynamic because things change, right? Things get hot, then they get warm, then they get hot again, then they get cold, then something new pops up, and it's dynamic. It's always changing. That's good and bad. You know, everything has pros and cons to it.
Sure.
But what you said is really true. It's there is, you got to make sure that you look at the big picture. And what I found is if I understand the big picture of what's going on, then I don't get lost in the platform, the whatever hotness, trendy stuff that's going on. And I think that's a bit of what you've begun to master. You've begun to master value creation, education-based marketing, messaging that really touches on the pain points in the motivation factors. And what are
Absolutely.
those? Are the motivation factors that somebody wants to have a great life in whatever market it is? No. It's that they want to eliminate pain most of the time,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
As a
you
matter of
move
fact, my wife's back there getting an IV right now. She's not getting an IV because she woke up today and felt great and was like,
right.
it was because she was feeling a little under the weather and she wants to try to get rid of that pain. Human beings are so. Um, you discovered something we talked about last time, which was going live and doing these
Yes,
micro webinars. Okay. This
yes.
was a year ago. You were doing these
Mhm.
on TikTok. Basically, you were going live, but you kind of called them a micro webinar, which I loved.
Yeah,
And we've titled today's show that, you're doing, we said doing this one thing consistently has built community and trust in 393,000 followers.
yes.
Is it still is this the micro webinar strategy
Absolutely.
still the
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's very unique because for me, um, and we all know we're at the whim of these networks and these platforms that we go on and we do our content. And I want everyone to understand this. At the end of the day, you can see something working for another person that on these platforms, depending on the audience that you are getting, it might not work for you. And I see people getting frustrated when they start to make content or they get in any space of marketing. And I think that deeper connection of being able to resonate with your viewers and communicate with them and connect with them during live will shape what you need to do to serve them. And in my opinion, when I go live, I over educate and everyone tells me not to because people are going to try to leave and try to figure out on their own. They're going to fail and think things don't work. To me, my audience needs to see, they need to feel, they need to have a really crash course of what's going on. I sometimes, like I said, I over educate a lot sometimes, but the amount of people that message me on Facebook or message me on Instagram and they're like, dude, I made money doing this one thing you told me, or I did this. In most cases, I don't make money off of that, but I feel it keeps me going more than the money. I feel like that passion of helping somebody from 0 to 1 is almost better than helping somebody from 1 to 10. Like, because you start something and kick something off. The moral of the story is when I do my micro webinars and I've learned different strategies over the time, I take people from not knowing nothing, the process, where my story is, where I was at, where I'm at now, and how I got there, all through that. And, you do all the little cool webinar tricks you learned over the year. It's hard live because these people are not set to stay on there.
right?
But for the people that value the beginning of being on there or hear what you're saying, they stick with you. And I think that's how I gain my followers. If you look at my page, you might not see a post in the last couple of weeks and people are like, Paul's not even making content. What is he doing? Well, I'm connecting with the people I have. I don't
Yeah,
need more followers. I need to
yeah,
connect with 1,000 strong followers. I need a
that's
10,000
so true.
strong people, loyal followers. And I think that's what a lot of people, when they're making some of the content that they're thinking about followers more than that deep connection. And I think live webinars, micro webinars help me out a lot there.
Well, we do a micro webinar every morning here. I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, and I love what I want to point out a couple of things. First and foremost, the fact that you named something. And when you name it, you can kind of claim it, right?
Yeah.
It's like Paul's micro webinar strategy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I want to point that out first, that until you name something, it's sort of like discovering land, right? Do you think that, and then we all know the answer to this, right? Do you think Christopher Columbus was the first one to America, folks? No.
Not at all. You put that
Come on,
name on it,
Paul.
right?
Let's keep it real. Okay. On Wake Up Legendary, we're gonna keep it real. Um, look, man, this is just the cat that came here and put a flag in the land. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that
Yeah.
other people, and then obviously with violence and so forth. But that's an analogy to help us understand the point that many people claim many mountains, climb many mountains, but it usually gets named after the person that plants a flag and somehow names it, or creatively you almost take ownership over something. All these strategies, the fishing formula, for example, something that I teach in the affiliate marketing business blueprint, is something that I designed to take ownership over the formula and to kind of create something that was proprietary. That's a big whole episode. We could talk for a long time just on sort of naming and claiming things, creating little strategies and giving them little names, because they're easier for people to remember. And if you just use that, that's why if you notice in like our video sales letter and in lot, like I'm not harping on affiliate marketing,
Yeah. I love that, by the way. I love it.
You know what I mean? Because and you all, like many of people, I saw somebody make a post the other day who hangs out in our Facebook groups and said, he's a friend of mine. He got it wrong, that a lot of people are getting their TikTok account shut down. A lot of people aren't getting their TikTok. It's an equal amount on all platforms, because they're using robots to say, if this person says this word more than 3 times, flag them. And we just go out and we make short little videos with no real creativity, and we say affiliate marketing, I'm doing affiliate marketing, and we get flagged, we get our account shut, and then we're like, oh, this doesn't work. And it's like, no, that we never said that this was called the spam machine business. And is all that is verbalizing spam like that. It's just verbalizing spam. It's not typing spam. And what you're describing here is not only, of course, you took a TikTok live, which everybody else is calling TikTok live, and you named it something special and specific to Paul. And what did I remember from our conversation a year ago?
The micro webinar. 100%. Still 100%. Doing it. It's how my bread and butter. And it's honestly, and I think a lot of people need to hear this. For a lot of people that's saying things don't work and all of that stuff, it's not that, but the creativity, like they said, you have to think outside the box. And at the end of the day, you're not trying to make money. I know that sounds crazy. You're trying to have impact, and where you can go out there and present something of value, where people value that more than the money they have in exchange for it. So for me, when I provide so much value, there's people that come in my DMs all the time and say, hey, can I pay you for coaching? Or I can pay you for this and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'll try my hardest to do coaching with you. But one of the things about affiliate marketing that is really appeasing is I can make content, I can learn, I can go out there and the business is ran, So
this ain't MLM, man. People want to come in and they want to be mentors and they want to do this, and that's fine. Yeah. I mean, but the beauty of this, and then I see people coming on Wake Up Legendary and they're like, oh, I wish I would have signed up from under Paul or under this guy. It's like, folks, this is an MLM. Paul's not going to come and do a little powwow. He's living his life. So what we have to really get out of is this this idea, this, I think it's just a limiting belief that I need somebody sitting next to me to explain things. What I need is to develop my focus and my consistency and my discipline to go through just a few simple videos, not on TikTok, but inside an organized course like at Legendary. If you do that, you will know 99% more than everybody else out there. But what everybody wants to do is they want to work really hard to not work, to not learn, go right to the money.
Yeah.
And then complain about the results they didn't get from the work they didn't do.
Absolutely, man. It's interesting. Like I said, they'll contact me and I said, look, the internet is an amazing thing because you can go out there and learn from something that's awesome. And then at the same time, find people that you think are doing well and mimic, model, find the pieces of the puzzle that you might be doing. You know how many email lists I'm on, and I'm like, ooh, I like how they worded that copy. Or I have a spreadsheet and I have literally, I would say, dozens of people that I like to follow in multiple different niches, because I have faceless TikTok pages that do other things for me and things like that. So I've been able to see
and stuff like that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? So
Sneak, spy.
Because
are you in business or are you a charity, Paul?
Right. I'm in business. I'm in
That's
business. So
That's it.
I tell them all the time, I say, look, mimic, model what I'm doing. The micro webinar is awesome. And I'll get in, I can go into literally my Facebook Messenger. And obviously we know how that works. If you've ever been on Facebook and found some type of name for yourself, even at a small level like myself. But I just really try to help those people out. And I'm like, you're literally seeing everything that I'm doing. And there's people within Legendary that are using the micro webinar. And I have a few names I'm not going to mention, but one guy's doing great. And he's just like, he always messages me and checks up on me. And I got a few people, and I promise you, we got like this tight knit community that is just like, man, this is the impact. I make no money off of them. But the conversations and stuff that I get in those messengers is like, oh, let's go do what I do. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people out there that's going to resonate with this. And there's times I'll go live, have 50 people, have 1,000 people. And the more numbers that I have, the more people that are not aligned with the vision that I have for them. So like I said, I like a small group of people that are really eager to learn the things that we are all trying to teach and show people that they can really monetize and learn and move forward with freedom in their life. And freedom is one of the most important things for me, as I live in Oklahoma now. Originally from Michigan. I lived in Seattle, lived in Atlanta. My mom is in Tennessee. My brother's still in Michigan. So for me, I can just get on a plane. I got a place out in, I pay for a room in Arizona, Scottsdale, where my first cousin is. So I'm all over the place. And if you guys really are ready to level up your life and you're ready to take the next thing, think about the education first and separate yourself from the end results and fall in love with the process. If you guys can fall in, I'm looking into the camera because I want somebody to really resonate with this. If you can fall in love with the process of doing these daily revenue generating tasks without looking at the revenue, then you can just fall in love with this. I go live. If I make no income at all that week or whatever it is, a week later, somebody messaged me about that live that I did, and it changed their life. I had a guy come on, he was like, man, I seen you a year ago. I've been looking for you all over. And this person is in the system, and now things are moving. So don't think about the money so much. Disconnect yourself from that and fall in love with the process. It works. The education is grand, if you will. So that's hopefully they can understand that.
Well, it's difficult to convey your experience, and your experience has been something that it's hard to relate to. It's hard to believe that somebody would quit an $80,000 a year job, that's even possible, so we're all dealing with our own limiting beliefs of, is that possible? Could that be possible for me? And was there ever a time when you had that doubt, when you had that skepticism? Right now, you seem so confident. You seem so, sure of what you're saying. What sort of mental struggles, if it wasn't that, was it something different? So we know that you're not just a bionic man who's gone through this with ease.
No, I think I probably, man, I'll tell you what, I think I struggle more than the next person because I was really good at the job that I had. I was really, really good at it. Like I would have probably been a GM of what I work. I don't like necessarily saying where I work because some of my stories are bad, and I believe the company is a great company, but the individuals is what kind of moved me out of that position. But I think that I was so good at that job, and in times that I was so happy, it was like, who do you think you are wanting more? Like, where do you think you come from? And things like that. And I have every now and then these delusional thoughts of grandeur. Like I want more, and I want I want to accomplish more so I can have more access and impact people's lives in a positive way. And even if that's just my family's life, that's awesome to me. So I feel it's selfish for me not to go out there and try to get as much, make as much, impact as much as I can, because I think it's my duty to do that. So yes, like I said, we're on Wake Up Legendary. I love Legendary. This company is absolutely amazing. I actually seen you a long time ago before I actually got into the education and things like that. And I wasn't sure if it was my avenue, because drop shipping was on the mind and creating your own program and all of this stuff. And I'm like, hey, look, stick with something, figure it out. And then, of course, obviously, we know short form content has helped a lot of people out that don't know the struggles of people like myself had before short form content came here. So I was already doing lives on Facebook and promoting other offers and things like that, and getting 1 or 2 people on there and trying to spend money on ads and figuring out what converts. But the honesty, the part of it is, I know the process. I've known the process, and it's been validated through educational programs like Legendary throughout the years that I've had. But I've never had the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to throw $1,000, $5,000 at these multiple different ads that I have across these platforms to see which one sticks so I can scale that one. I never had the confidence. I'm like, I'm spending this money. I have expenses. This is not going to work for me, or this, that, and other. When I doubled down on organic content and short form just blowing up, my message was clear. My understanding of what I had was clear. I just didn't have the reach. So a lot of people are getting in it now, and they're complaining about their videos and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, guys, you're getting 200 views on every one of your videos. That's a lot. You're getting 1,000 views on all of your videos. You get 10,000, you get 100,000. I got 4 or 5 videos where there are 1 million+ views on them. Now, if I did it all over again, I probably wouldn't even care to make that type of content. But it got views, and a lot of people in there that wasn't interested, and it changes your audience. And a lot of people are not understanding that on these platforms is when you go viral, it will change the ideal avatar customer to a bunch of people that might have been looking for easiest ways to make money online. You see the videos a lot of the people are doing. It's like free ways to make, anybody who wants something free is probably not going to be the best buying customer. They say if you can get a person to purchase something one time, you can get them to pull out your credit card over and over again. Now, mind you, this is all with good intent to get them something that they're looking for that's going to work for them. So I don't want anybody to watch this and think like, oh, they're just trying to make money. No, you're looking for something. You found content that you resonate with. You purchased something that is going to help you solve a problem. And that is where money and impact the transaction happens. In my opinion, that's how it works.
Well, if they don't pay attention. I mean, that's not a new concept. I mean, the best way to help your client is to charge them. What,
right,
Dave? Yeah, because nobody
values.
It's one of those. Is that an oxymoron? Is that a whatever you would call it? Yeah. It's one of those contradictory principles where, if they don't pay attention. They just don't. I don't
100%.
pay attention. I don't pay attention to things I don't pay for. I mean, because it's just I take it for granted. It's like the beach right over here. I mean, how often do I go to the beach that's 2 miles away from me? And Paul, how often do you think you or some of your friends would go to the beach in Oklahoma? You'd think every day. It's like, holy crap,
right.
you know?
Yeah. But if they put one here, I'll be there right now. I'll be like, Dave, I'm on the beach, bro.
Yeah. It's free. It's just we take it for granted. We take people in our life for granted. We take, when they're there all the time. So
look at I like to tell people all the time, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get a gym membership, and they go to like 10 Gym, or they go to Planet Fitness. Walk in there, look at the people that are in there. No offense to everybody on their journey, because everybody starts somewhere, and then go to Equinox and go to Lifetimes and your big expensive gyms where you're paying $100 and something in there. Those people are going there because they're paying to pay attention to their diet, their exercises, and everything like that. They holding them more accountable. And when you get a coach or you buy something of real value, you're not going to be like, man, I spent all that money, I'm not going to do that. You're going to anchor yourself down, and it holds you accountable, because no one wants to waste money. So I think that's the best thing.
And usually, this is the most important part, I pay that person because I want to be held accountable, because it's not, here, I'm giving you this money, so now you do all the work. Come and knock on my door, get me up out of bed, get me some breakfast in my stomach, get me to the gym. And that's the philosophy or the mentality that a lot of us have for some reason in this particular industry. And I think a lot of it is because there's so much out there online that's promising something for nothing. And of course we get this fantasy that magical something for nothing does exist.
Yeah.
And it does. It exists everywhere, and you still haven't done anything with it. You know, just like you said, I can go and watch Paul and learn everything he's doing. You can watch me and learn everything I'm doing. But
do it.
Watch
him do it.
You know, but what do we want? What are we really looking for when all this opportunity and all this information is out there? We're looking for something. We're waiting. And if you can answer that question, you can crack your life wide open, because what you'll probably realize when you open up the safe, inside of Pandora's box, to realize what you're waiting on, you'll realize it ain't shit. You're waiting on nothing. Fear, BS, nothing. It's just limiting beliefs. And you know, so many of us, when we finally, you know, jump in or put something down, whatever it is. I see people walk away from an abusive relationship. They're like, why didn't I do that so long ago? Or they get started with their own business and start really cranking. And they're like, the only thing I wish is that I did this 20 years ago. I mean, we hear that all the time. And so, you know, it's a
limited belief thing is the craziest part of it. Limiting beliefs, and I think mindset when it comes to a lot of this stuff for people, they really need to work on that aspect of it, because one, you're worth it for yourself, your family, or whatever it is. And I think that if people really understand that they can sacrifice enough things right now for instant gratification purposes, like just sacrifice that stuff, over the long haul, you will be able to accomplish anything you stick your mind to. This isn't rocket science. This isn't anything that's too crazy. We all got 24 hours in a day. Yes, we have dogs and families and different things and jobs and stuff like that, but we have to make some sacrifices along the way to get what we want out of life. It's not going to fall in our lap. You got to put the work in. You have to understand your education and skill set is the most important part of all of it. So hopefully that helps somebody out, and maybe they had an aha moment on this live, and it'd be awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that's the hope. And one of the reasons why I do what I do here on this show every day is, at first, you know, we had gone live here at Legendary. Other members of our team were going live. Occasionally one of our clients would come on, but in the beginning of the crisis that happened in March of 2020, I'm not saying the word because I don't want Facebook to flag the video.
For sure.
Understand? I don't want, I see people just going live and they're like, just saying, and then what do they got? The second they say that word, you got a big warning under your thing about the safety of other, medicines and stuff. And it's like, I got to be smarter than the computer, you know?
For sure.
So that's why I'm not saying that word. And I'd recommend all of you be very conscious of the words that, you know, are getting flagged all over social media because they're trying to cut down on misinformation. Just don't even say it. Just keep that out of your content. And if you want to describe it, just do what I did. The crisis that started in 2020. We all remember that, right? Well, I decided to go live, and it was a commitment on my part to come out from daily duties of running and operating the business to also creating content. It's not easy. You know, people think that it's just easy. It's not easy. It takes work and commitment. But now we've been doing it for 2.5 years, 5 days a week. And one of the reasons why we still do it, one of the reasons why I still show up every day, and we've got a team of people behind the scenes that are here with us every day as well. Joanne, Roxy, Matt, Jalen are all right there. And the reason why we do this every day is not only because it helps our marketing, right?
Right.
It helps our marketing as a company. Surely, don't you think that having the spokesperson of the company going live every day would influence people to be like, man, this is pretty legit.
For sure.
Guy's not even editing what he's saying. It's just all right there. And he's done it over
And the amount of
500.
people, different shapes, sizes, knowledge bases, backgrounds, all telling their story. If you can't find one person to resonate with to get you to move,
You don't want to.
I understand, but
you don't want to.
You don't want to.
Here's what I'm getting at with talking about going live. First and foremost, about our micro webinars, right? But I called it Wake Up Legendary Show. You see how we did that? It's a same kind of concept. It's just instead of saying we're going live every day, we called it something, right? So turn what you do into a name. I used to do, because I was early in my recovery back in 2009, and I used to watch this show Intervention. It was about people getting clean, and I used to do a call every Monday that was called Marketing Intervention. I mean, it is just giving it a clever name, right? Yeah. I borrowed something from the TV show, but I actually said all of that to say that the number one way to change your mindset is to get in a different environment. And the reason why I've continued to do the show every day is it absolutely does help sales. It's a major part of our marketing plan now. However, I know that if somebody listens to this on a regular basis for an extended period of time, their mindset will shift, because your mindset's broke because you've been listening and hanging around with broke people, broke-minded people who would rather commiserate with somebody than brainstorm solutions, than look at what they're grateful for, than find something to work on and people to build with. They'd rather, and that's what most people, I mean, even Sebastian Maniscalco, whatever, he's a great comedian. My wife and I went to the show. He's an Italian guy. He's like, hey, I just got to have something to complain about. And I get
seen him
that.
for the first time recently, I think, on Netflix.
So funny. I get that. It's fun to occasionally bitch about things. I understand that. But if your whole life you see the world through shit-colored glasses, look, that's going to reflect in your decision making. It's going to reflect in your risk taking. And if you want to really have a massive shift in conjunction or parallel with the action that you're taking, because you can't just sit around. I don't believe you can sit around and listen to anything and just, okay, $1 million is going to show up on my bank account. I don't. You have to do it in parallel with the learning and the doing. But if you listen to people more often that have a powerful outlook on a business, on opportunity, on what's possible, on making money. If people think making money is hard, you're going to begin to believe that making money is hard. If that's what you listen to, if you grew up around people saying we can't afford this and money doesn't grow on trees and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're going to grow up with a lack mentality towards the endless supply of paper they can print. And quite frankly, the abundance of money that's in the world. You're going to have a lack. You're going to think there's not a lot. You'll be afraid to take tips. You'll feel bad to take gifts from people. You'll think you don't deserve them. Right. This is how some of these things won't want to do good self-care for yourself. There's a lot of ways that things continue to show up, but I know how to fix it right now, no matter what the problem is begin to listen to. Now, if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. You're like, I don't like this guy. I don't give a shit, because there's plenty of other people that will. But find somebody you can listen to and you need to make sure they're being honest too. Absolutely. Because if they're just bullshitting and they're preaching a dream, living a nightmare, or they're talking about something that they don't really do or don't have experience, you're going to get, and there's a lot of those snake oil salesmen out here on the internet. But my recommendation is give this a try. 90 days, listen to Wake Up Legendary every single day. And if you like it, if you begin to feel a shift, then go and listen to another 90 days. If not, find somebody else, but do something every day to where you're putting an hour-ish of hardcore, not from people who are not, who are not afraid, who are not, and I'm not talking about me. Every morning we have somebody on the show who maybe was afraid, but they're not afraid anymore. And when we see people doing it in combination with listening to what they're saying, man, it really, really, really will change you and give you a lot of confidence and give you a lot of belief that you don't have. But you really have to get off of social media, stop the scrolliosis, stop the endless rabbit hole bullshit, and dial in and say, look, this is where I'm going to fertilize my mindset, and then I'm going to go take action.
100%. There was one thing that I used to do. I'm a slow reader for anybody out there. I don't know if I'm a slow reader now, but when I was younger, I felt like a slow reader. So I bought a ton of audiobooks. I'm talking Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 4 Hour Work Week. I bought a ton of audiobooks, and all I did is listen to audiobooks all day long, working out, driving in the car, even sleeping, because I've heard the subconscious mind is working even when you're sleeping. So I used to put on these monotone reading things and just immerse myself with a lot of people that have done more than anyone in my surrounding has. Now, the internet makes it really easy for us to connect with people. But back then, when I started thinking about stuff, I was just like, let me read some of these books of people that are putting in their knowledge base, their expertise, their life successes condensed in this book. And if I can consume a lot of that, I can probably change my mindset to knowing like, hey, these people have unique stories, all the same, and all have accomplished great things. So listening to this is more powerful, in my opinion, than that, because I can find a way why Timothy Ferriss became successful and I can't. I can find a way, but all the people that you guys bring on here, and I see this, it's absolutely amazing. And the day that you guys sent me an email and asked me to be on here, I got tagged online of somebody watching my video of the last time I was on Wake Up Legendary. And to me, it was like, I don't know, it was just one of those things that like happens, be like, it's for a reason. I don't want to get too spiritual or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like a sign, but I just was like, man, that's super cool. I impacted this person's life enough that he's watching my year ago thing. And
you don't even know. And you know what? The buyers and all that, they don't even message you. They don't even message you, man.
The people, I never talked to this person.
And do you know how many other people are following you and never even said anything and probably bought? I mean, that's really the power of conversation. And the difference between audiobook in free flowing conversation from entrepreneurs and high level thinkers and stuff like that is that you get all the body language and the emotion, and you get the tonality, and you get all the other context that you don't get in an audiobook. And I personally, I have such a hard time with reading and listening to audiobooks. It's why we don't have a huge book club here at Legendary, why we're not always reading. I mean, we make 1 or 2 book recommendations, and it's like, because if you can just be, if we can get you, thinking, at least have 1 book on your nightstand and you pick it up, but the rest is really hearing conversations, listening to people talk, listening to how they think. But the problem with audiobooks, and I don't think audiobooks are, you obviously use them back when there was not all these other resources.
Yeah.
You did. And people still use audiobooks. I'm not saying they're bad, but it's what is the purpose that I'm trying to use them for? Am I trying to gain knowledge, or am I trying to gain confidence? And most of us have more knowledge than confidence. I mean, usually by the time somebody gets to Legendary, a lot of times they've already gone through something else. I mean, look at you. You know, that you even said that. So it's not, now we may make it simpler and we may say it in a way that they understand versus somebody else. But what we need is confidence. We need confidence. And you know how you get confident? you get around other people who are confident. Have you ever been walking around with like, and probably people do this when they're walking around with you, Paul, but I don't know. I've been walking around with like a couple of my buddies who are big dudes, and I just feel a little bit more badass when I'm walking. I'm like, I wish a mother would, because my homeboy will lay their ass out. Not me.
Yeah,
Not me. I ain't
for
doing
sure.
shit. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
scared. But my buddy here will knock your ass out, right? And you
100%.
just feel a little bit more confident, right?
Yeah,
Well, the
yeah, yeah.
same thing happens when we're listening to people who are confident about what they're doing. And even if they're not confident about what they're doing, they're willing to take the risk.
Absolutely.
And when you listen to those people over and over and over again, you act, you think different. Why do you think that, I'm somewhat obsessed with old mob and mafia. Well, a lot of these kids that grew up in New York in these families, I mean, they're just kids, but they get around these older gangsters who
Yeah.
just every word comes out of their mouth like religion.
I'm a huge fan as well, right? Yeah.
I mean, everything these mobsters say, you'd think it was written in stone somewhere on a pyramid somewhere, because they say it with so much confidence. And then you got kids growing up in these gangs and in these places because they feel confident.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
look at what's happened, and I don't want to get too crazy but the power of words, they embolden people. Look
Yeah.
at leaders in our country. Look at what's happened. Okay. And if we don't want to get political about right now, look at what happened back in the days with some of these lunatics. Look at what's happening in Russia. Words
Yeah.
are powerful. And when people speak with confidence, it gives you confidence. And of course, we have to make sure we're listening to the right people.
Words are spelled, but they cast spells. So that's what people don't understand, that those words are really synonymous in a way that when they did that, it was the point. When you write a word out and you're spelling it, when you speak it, it casts spells. So in my opinion, if that sounds too crazy to people, you have to understand that you can move mountains with the things that you say in negative ways and positive ways. But only on top of, I guess, what you were saying.
Look at marketing copy.
Is
I mean, not without even it being said, just reading it, it can work
deep
magic.
diving right now in psychology and copy like crazy right now. That's my thing right now. Marketing psychology and copy right now. I'm diving deep in it. But anyways, I tell people, like, when I'm on my live, like, people, they're like, well, how fast can I make money? Or how can I do this or this? I was like, you're thinking about the wrong thing. I tell people, and this goes on to what you're saying, to get confident enough to make money, you have to be competent about what you're doing to be confident. If you're not competent, AKA you don't have the education, the understanding, the skill set, then how are you even thinking about going out there to make any type of income? Because you're going to leave here from what I teach you, and you're going to run into a problem because you're not confident or competent about what you're doing. So how is this possible? You have to be real comfortable and competent about what you got going on through education to confidently go out there and, just another C word for the sake of it, to consistently do these things to create some revenue for yourself. Be confident, or should I say be competent. Be confident and consistently take action on the things that you learn. And that's one of the reasons why I usually have two computers, because I'll watch a YouTube video, I'll watch a training video, and I'll pause it and I'll implement it. I don't consume that information and be like, man, I learned so much today. Like, that's awesome what I just learned.
My cup runneth over.
Right. So for me, I'm just like, man, learn, implement.
Yeah, you got to.
See what they're doing.
You actually haven't learned it until you implemented it. Can we just, let's back up and be even more honest. You've not learned it. You've not learned it unless you've done it. Just because you went and sat in the class, this is a big, I believe, this has been left out of education and just educating us on how we get educated. Yeah. Just because I went and sat, I've sat in so many classes, I didn't learn a damn thing.
Yep.
You think that I learned something from every video I've ever watched and every class? I used to have people say, man, you've been here for a year. You ain't learned shit, Sharpe. But people say that. You know how many times I've had that? You ain't learned a damn thing from all these mistakes you've made, have you, Sharpe? But it's a lot. I've not learned anything just because I heard somebody talking about something.
For sure.
Oh, I heard dude over here talking about this, man. I was sitting next to somebody in the restaurant who was a stockbroker. Now that's what I was listening in. I'm about to go make some picks, right? I mean, that would show us real quick how much we don't know after, we lose our ass. And usually that's what we do. No matter what we do, we get a little bit of false confidence. And then we get humbled a lot of times. We come back. This really, Paul and I, mainly me, is being sarcastic this morning. You'll be this sarcastic too after you've been in the industry for 10 years. And it's just, and here's the thing, nothing's changed except the platforms, folks. In over 10 years, nothing about what Paul said with the competent, confident, and consistent. By the way, y'all should write that down, because that was like, those 3 C's are absolutely true and powerful. And if you just focus on becoming competent, developing your confidence, and being consistent, if you just write that down and just tape it to the top of your computer, it will remind. It's sort of like the thing that Papa Don said a month or so ago on this show. He said, look, and I've always heard it called income producing activities, but Papa Don made it even more simple. He said, if I ain't reading, or if I ain't writing, he didn't say reading. He said, if I ain't writing, speaking, or filming a video, I'm not working. I'm not making money. I'm not doing anything that's eventually going to make me any money. I have to be and that was what he called his deep work. Well, similar in terms of simplicity and power is what you just said, with the competent, confident, consistent. Because there's nothing that is left out of that. Competent, learn. Confident, listen. Surround yourself with people who are confident. Become obsessed. Block out anything and everything. Not rudely, but
for sure.
Really. Stop hanging out with your most miserable friends. Stop hanging out with your most negative people. Maybe you need to set a boundary with your negative family members for 6 months. Whatever it is to get you to a place to where your mindset is not built on a house of cards.
For sure.
And I think
I appreciate it, man. I'm almost getting chills. You're going to make me go back to the drawing board and just like start really, really crushing it. Because I go hard and I do my thing. And there's other things that I have passions about. And I try not to spread myself too thin a lot. And I really appreciate this call. This is amazing. Yeah. What was that?
I said, your limitations, though, brother. One of the things that I like about you is that your limitations and you have your priorities in order. That's what it seems like anyways, unless you've totally got me fooled, which I'm a pretty good reader of people. And I think that you've come to a similar place in life as I have, which is, look, we've had some fun. We've done some things, but now it's time to really not waste time. And I don't have time to waste with people who are not moving in the same direction that I'm moving. And and I don't have time to waste doing things that are not ultimately going to move me closer to my goals. Which at this point, it's ironic that you said don't focus on the money, because every business has to be healthy, has to be bringing in revenue. But if I was making a lot less money than I currently make, I would still be really excited about doing this. You know what I mean? About doing what we do. And I think there is really something that's important about shifting your focus to this desperation and total focus on money, and shifting it to, let's get excited about, like, let's get excited about helping people. And then when they
100%.
start telling, and that sounds really lame before anybody has told you that you help them, but and impossible. But the first time that somebody messaged you, Paul, and said, "Hey, man, what you said, like it helped me. It damn near changed my life. Thank you." Was that, tell me, can you just, before we wrap up, could you talk about what that experience was like and compare it to, your first big day of income? Because I think they might be different emotions or reactions, but I'd like you to describe what it was like when you started either your first or started getting those messages, because
Yeah,
that's really the currency, isn't it, brother? When
absolutely.
people are like, "This is changing my life, Paul. Thanks, man. Like, what you're
And
doing matters."
it's crazy because as people, as humans, we develop. And I remember at first when it was coming in, it was awesome because I wasn't really thinking about the money. I mean, I had people coming in and be like, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea this exists. I've always wanted to have like a ebook, didn't know how to do it, or I had wanted to learn this type of stuff. You made this so simple and so clear. I feel confident to go out there and do this." They were like, some people use these different terminologies and they get advanced and they say things that discourage me because I know nothing about it. That's a huge flaw on some of our parts when we want to try to sound smart. Uh, like,
Preach.
yeah, when you want to sound smart, you are alienating so much of your audience because you never know if you don't have a good rapport with who you're speaking to, aka on these platforms that you're just making videos, then you're probably like pushing away the people that are most likely. If you have a bunch of people that understand that terminology, then maybe those people are already at places that you're at and you can't do much service for them. Moral of the
Yeah.
story is I had a person reach out to me, didn't purchase anything for me or anything like that, but I taught him about being an affiliate, and he went on to Amazon and did some things, and I was like, "Hey man, you can do XYZ and this will work out for you." He came on, I think it was like 3 days later, he left a comment. He said, "Hey man, I can't believe you absolutely changed my life." This guy's a farmer, big hat. He lives in Texas somewhere. He's a farmer, deep voice. The guy could be a voiceover actor. And he came on and he made a video. He's like, "Dude, I think he said he made 124 sales in 24 hours off a product I told him to do a review for because it was unique on TikTok." And in 24 hours, he made 100 and something sales. So he came back on and he was like, "Man, I want to learn more. How can I pay you to learn more about this?" I was like, "Dude, you have all the information at your fingertips, but this is the type of education that I went through to learn more about this industry." And that natural segue and him and me providing value, he valued that education. He didn't stop there and say,
You didn't
"Hey man,
even
this is
create the
all I
product.
need to know." He
You didn't
valued
even
it.
create the
And I've been
product.
on live. Oh my gosh, didn't even throw. Didn't get
Didn't
the
even create
product.
the
So
product.
another one that was really, and I have these, like, I'll have these moments where people have aha moments on my lives and I screenshot them. I just asked them, I said, "Hey guys, do you mind if I screenshot some of these positive things you guys are saying? Because they make
Yeah.
me feel really great." And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely, Paul, you're the best. You're this, that, and other." And these people are just coming in. Once 15, 20 minutes into a live, if a person is still on my live, I know they're interested, they're engaged. We have that like, know, and trust factor being established. And now
Yep.
I can go on there and get all of these different type of testimonials, if you will, of people that have least heard it. So now I can use these in my marketing. I can say, "Hey, I go live. This is what the people are saying for my live. You can come join me on my live video." And it's
Yeah.
powerful because it's there. There's no lie. These are random people on there. So for me,
Yeah.
when I wasn't making money and I was getting a lot of those, I would tell my partner, I would just be like, "Hey, look, I know I didn't make money, like that much money, but man, I feel great that these people are like saying that I helped them. Like their 0 to 1 is happening. It's happening right now." So
Yeah.
for me, that's more important, like I said before earlier in this video, to take somebody from 1 to 10. And that's why I've been really hesitant on working with people that are in the industry that think that they need my personal help. No, you need to do the exact same thing that everybody else is, mimic, model, and look at things. So yeah, the impact over income statement sometimes is hard to believe when you don't have any money, but I promise you, you will feel better about those things. Let's say if you had all the money in the world, it wouldn't matter.
Well,
the money wouldn't matter, but that impact will still move you.
How about this? You will never get income without impact,
100%.
but you will absolutely get income with impact.
100%.
Right? So it's almost like like you've seen these pictures or memes with, like, I don't know, someone or an animal in a maze or whatever, and they, the door is right there and they don't go out. You've seen these it's similar, that a person can come into this industry and just go from thing to thing to thing, just looking for the magic button. But that it never happens, even though that's exactly what you're focused on, which is weird, because isn't that what law of attraction is? If I just focus on the money, just say there's no weeds in my yard enough times, and no weeds in my yard, there's a Lamborghini in my driveway, right? But if we focus, or if we do enough edutainment, which is exactly what we always talk about and teach here. It's education-based selling, edutainment, not just going out there and just randomly going up and signing up as an affiliate with everyone and everything, including Legendary, and then just going out there and just spamming. That, but going out there and using education-based selling, edutainment, and getting people to say, this is good stuff, man. Like, thanks. Like, wow, I'm interested. This is like, until you start getting those type of comments, don't even make an offer because they ain't gonna. I mean, I've watched this guy, the Liver King, build up a massive following on Instagram, and he did it for
I just broke down his whole funnel, everything recently. I just was looking at his stuff. I'm like, this dude's making like $3 million a month, if not more. Bought a jet. People don't understand that he can write that off in his business because he uses it.
People don't get it. People think, and too many people are down in the comments arguing about whether the guy's on steroids or not. It's like they're just,
doesn't matter.
He's just counting paper as they're
all the attention in the world. He has all the attention. I tell people all the time, man, if you can capture the attention. And you look at any of these people that are making content and blowing up on whatever platform through short form content is, you can do this.
The thing with Liver King, he never sold a single thing for a while. And that, back to my point, is that until you got people who are like, this is really good shit, like what you're saying is helpful, they're never going to buy anything else from you. You see what I'm saying? Like, until what, and that goes back to the, what should I do on my TikToks and my Instagrams and my Facebooks for free? What should I give away for free? You should give absolutely everything away for free that you know. Well, shouldn't I charge for that? No, because if you give them something that's so valuable for free, your best thing that you know, they're going to be like, holy shit, that was valuable. Like, I want to buy something from you just because I feel indebted, or if I can't imagine what's in your paid stuff if that was so free. But until you get people saying those kind of things, you have not figured out how to deliver good enough quality to create a reliable stream of income. Now, does that not mean that you're not going to get some commissions here and there? Yes, you're going to do that. You're going to have videos go viral. If you never figure out, like, if you never try to deliver value to people to a point to where they're actually saying this is valuable stuff, and you just try to take a shortcut here or there, I'm not worried about no edutainment. I'm just trying to burn through accounts and just do duplicate stuff and just spam. You will get results,
for sure,
but it'll be a hard ass road. You're constantly fighting the platforms about getting your accounts back. You're constant. I mean, and this is what, folks.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen when you make that shift to say, look, it's not going to happen overnight, but I really want to become a student of this so I can help people. It's kind of like a doctor or a nurse. It's like, do you want the person who's just went through the class, like just to get through it, operating on your body? No, the same way that somebody doesn't want to buy something from somebody who just is half-assing it. People have too many choices out there today. And it is all it takes is a little bit of effort, man. Little bit of effort, not a lot. Doesn't take an
100%.
incredible amount of effort. I'm looking at you right now, brother. Your skin is looking healthy. You look like you got a good night's sleep. I mean, them teeth are what that smile. Bro, I mean, you look you don't look like you're killing yourself over there. You know what I mean? It's just you putting forth a little bit of effort.
You know you have to be intentional, man. Like people, like you said, education, you be intentional. You guys, everybody that's watching this, I'm not no brainiac at all. Dave probably would say he wasn't a brainiac from what he said earlier, but yeah, man, this is not rocket science. It takes diligence. It takes the consuming and being a student of the game. And you guys have this, man. You literally wake up legendary every single day. Think about that when you get up. Like, what are you worth? You know, and you can go out there and accomplish anything that you can. And I think this platform is one of the best platforms for a newbie or a person who have failed for a while to get into a system. Between the Facebook pages, on both of the Facebook pages, between this page, between the education and the CEO founder, talking to everyone every day almost for 2 years. Stop it. Don't talk to me about another program. I don't want to talk to anybody else about another program. This is the place to be. And I love it, man. I'm obviously going to develop as myself, but I'm extremely grateful of being able to stumble across this, or should I say intentionally search for this and find Dave Sharpe and a legendary team.
Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate that, man. It's so good to see your face again and connect, buddy. And I hope we'll do it again real soon, man. Let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. All right.
I appreciate it, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Thanks.
See you guys.
Wow. That was a good one. That was a good one, folks. He's a good dude. We got a lot of those people in this community. So keep your head down, keep working, keep striving. Don't give up right before the miracle happens. There's so much opportunity and so much excitement in this. And is all we try to do every day is convey that to you. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for another episode. Go out there, be legendary today. Do something that's going to move the needle for your life. You deserve it. Be legendary.